Alright, welcome back to the stream. Buddy Llama, just running through the rogues, just keeping myself busy and entertained while the servers get some much love. Rogue Company, it's a pretty solid game so far. High Res and all them are doing a good job, I think. It's the first week, and I'm really excited to get a little more familiar with most of these. I've either played with them so far or I've played against them. So I guess I'm one of the fortunate ones to get some access to all of them. So it's pretty cool. So Dallas. So I did Anvil. Check. I'm on Dallas right now. I haven't played him too much, but there's obviously some strength in mid range. You can push a little bit with him from what I've seen some people do. Former Texas lawman, Dallas is widely regarded as one of the best trackers in the world. That's why I think he does well. He's very flexible. His ability, Target Finder, is super awesome. I think it's a great ability. Very dangerous in the right hands. Reveal the closest enemy for a short duration. I think it's pretty cool. And then perk that with something else. I'll have to remember as I go through this. Passive, recharge your ability upon downing an enemy. That's why you see these guys using that constantly. It's got two primaries, HRM 30KS and the Devotion. I'm kind of a sucker for the Devotion. I haven't really played outside of the training area with the 30KS. But body damage is pretty solid on the KS. Fire rate's pretty cool. Range is pretty gnarly. Though there's some other ones I think are on par with it. Tier wise, again, I don't play with it, but at least tier one. I mean that's kind of common. Depending on your map, fire accuracy, maybe. I'm kind of a sucker for maxing out primaries pretty early on. So it's pretty solid, devastating gun from what it looks like. Devotion I kind of like. I like the DMR types, lever action. That's just kind of my feel. That's the weapons I like. Damage, body damage, pretty solid. You can start breaking down. You can drop somebody in two shots, I think. If my memory serves me right. Range wise, a little bit more. So you can kind of be a little more flexible. Depends on how hard you push. Obviously, you're pushing hard. Go with that, dude. Anyone from Call of Duty or one of those is going to be right at home. AK style, right? Um, Handling's pretty solid. I like the tiers on these. I do. The reload time's pretty good compared to a couple other things I've seen so far. And then range, like infinite range, is crazy. So I max that out as quickly as I can. The revolver is a little tricky for me to handle. LWS, it's just like I compare it to any kind of revolver in any other game or hand cannons on Destiny 1, Destiny 2 kind of thing. It takes you a little bit of time to kind of, aim and shoot. But once you get that, you're pretty solid. It's good damage. Range is pretty good. So if you're good with a hand cannon or a revolver stuff, max it out quick. I think you'll be very dangerous with it. You'll be very effective. Handling is pretty good. Reload time's not too bad. Again, I kind of default to this one. Obviously, this has its perks too. Pretty solid. Throwing axe might be nice. I'm just not really good at throwing weapons right now. I don't use it too often. I don't use melee all that much. But obviously, throwing speed will help in a pinch. I've seen some people, save my ass when they're running Dallas. My buddy Ones does pretty good with him too. Throwing damage. So again, if you want to just run these two, dude, go for it. EMP grenade, I don't use it too often unless you know the other guys are running some gadgets or some stuff. So that's kind of just on you. Personal preference, maybe. Incendiary grenade works well unless the other team has Scorcher. She's kind of immune to fire, so they can find a counter for that really quickly. So be careful on doing that. It just depends. Don't waste your time with tiers on this one. If they have a Scorcher, she's pretty solid. Perks wise, I don't think I got into too much of the perks on the other, but this one's interesting because this is the first time you kind of see this I don't know if it has it for everybody, but I'll go down through each rogue. I'm just having fun with this. Silence the sound of your footsteps when not sprinting, which is a pretty solid thing. And a reason why I think is your ability to target find is pretty solid. If that's the case, I mean that's why you can run either this or the KS and just kind of just hunt people down. Um, Use this as pretty good. You get up close to people, they might not notice you're there. This might also be interesting to kind of boost up, but it depends on if you're running and gunning kind of thing. Here again, I think is a preference. I don't use it too often. Reduce your health again. Like these two, I see these two being really good on your playstyle. This is always a plus. It just depends on if you're getting caught a lot and you have to kind of change from kind of hunting people down, being more of a flank and stuff, or more of a mid range. It depends on what you're doing. This one, replenish. I don't usually use it because I usually have enough time to reload or whatnot, or switch weapons when I down somebody. So I don't do it too often. And a lot of times when you're pushing, and you fire teaming and whatnot, you can usually get away with not relying on this unless you know you're usually the last person. So if you see you're like the last man and you can hold yourself a little bit, then yeah, I can see this being a benefit. Again, this is just, if they've got a Scorcher, just don't bother. A lot of times game modes will start you off at least with a sidearm. I forget which one. I should really look. Allows you enough cash to start off with a primary. I default to this one. This is kind of my baby. I'm more of a mid-range type thing. I don't push too hard. Mid-long range, maybe, depending if I'm feeling froggy and I got a Spitfire or something. But this is pretty well balanced primary. The reason being is, besides the infinite range, you got 37, right? Tier 2. And range 27. So not a whole lot of difference if you can run up on them. And his abilities tend to let him kind of close that gap pretty good. Hip fire accuracy is pretty solid. So you can play pretty aggressive with Dallas, and you can be a support mid range. From what I notice, like I said, I like his ability a lot. It's pretty solid, and he's just a pretty cool guy. A lot of people are favoring him. I could see him being pretty effective. People getting really custom, especially with that hand cannon in. But that's what I got for Dallas. Just working my way down. Well, the servers are getting a little love today. It's the first week, and I figured I'd have some fun with this. So I've done Anvil, I've done Check, and my intention is to hopefully be able to upload these little streams and maybe put on YouTube or something. We'll see how it goes. So Dima's next. And we'll see what we got there. All right, I'll be back.